and welcome back to Winter 89 Colors. My name is Melissa and I'm here to color with you today. So today is the next installment in our little mini series that I've constructed for us. And we are working on, where did our page go? Do I not have a marker? Of course I don't have a marker in it. That would be intelligent. Hold on. We will get there. Maybe. Okay. So the last one that we did was this one here. That was in Polychromos. Yes, Polychromos. So we have one of the next of these ready to go. We've got 18 choices, well, 17 now. No, 18 choices. Nope. Guys, it is way too early in the morning for this. My coffee hasn't kicked in yet. We started with 18 choices, 9 per page. We now have 17 choices. So let's go ahead and spin the wheel now. Okay, guys. Look at what we landed on. We've got this little scooter with the lemons. So I think for this, I'm gonna use, let's do Kalours today. My 72 set of Kalour pencils. So I've got those kind of sitting out already. So let's just get ourselves positioned here correctly. And let's get a move on. So let's pick out, obviously we have lemons here, so we're gonna need some lemony colors. Let's pull out some yellows to start off with. So these are basically all the yellows. Like they have like some really dark yellows and stuff, but I think these are all the appropriate colors that we're gonna have for these lemons today. So I'm gonna line those up in my little pencil holder here. Got my trusty Dowel 133 here for sharpening. I find that that works fairly well in these Kalours. I find that you have to be really careful with these Kalours when you're sharpening them with a hand sharpener. I find that it's likely to break them or chip them. The cores are just a little bit delicate like that, and the wood's not as expensive, so it's more likely to splinter. Maybe it's just this set that I have, or maybe it's just the individual pencils I've tried, but I just find that that can be a little bit of a problem. Sorry about the noise, guys. I should have done this off camera first, but c'est la vie. Okay, so let's start with our little lemons here and get that moving, and then I'll talk a little bit about our channel and anything else that's going on. So I'm gonna start with light orange yellow. I'm gonna do this big old lemon back here. I mean, I'm assuming they're all lemons. Some of them kind of look like oranges, but we're going to assume they're all just real big old lemons. Never used Kalours on a Rita book before, so this will be interesting. Just trying to get in the shadows here. You want to make sure that you're making it look like each of the fruit that is behind another fruit has that depth to indicate that. Okay. So what's going on with you guys? How's your lives been getting along? I've been okay. It's been a bit messy, but I'm getting by. Money's still really, really tight. that's par for the course. I've been getting lots of videos done. I've been trying to video as much as possible. I'm not going to put everything up on the channel. You don't need to see every single thing. Like, for example, if I'm coloring in like one of those cute and cozy, bold and easy books, unless you really want to see that, if so, let me know down in the comments. But I think most people can handle those on their own at this point. There's so many channels out there right now that are featuring those and showing you how to color in those that I'm not going to focus on that. If I feel like doing one of those on my own, I'll just do it and show you in my completed pages. But I'm not going to make that a priority on the channel. I'm going to focus on things that require a bit more realism, fantasy detail, using different mediums other than just alcohol markers, you know. I'm going to focus a lot on pencils and mixed media. Alcohol markers might be a part of my basing, but I don't think they're going to be like a big part of what I put on the channel, if you know what I mean. Sorry about the glare. Whatever, close enough. Okay, I'm going to grab the white to finish these off. These images are so small, it doesn't take much. You don't need layers and layers and layers of color to get the desired effect. And this paper's so bright white that using a white is kind of pointless, but it just kind of wraps everything up and burnishes and all that kind of stuff. She's all finished. That was quick and easy. So I guess we should do the crate next. So I am pulling out bronze for this. I'm going to start with the inside of the crate. And I'm going to cover pretty much everything in the bronze, darker where Rita indicates that there's shadow using these little dots. And lighter where the dots recede. But still putting a light layer of this color down because I want it to be darker than its outside counterparts. So how are you guys enjoying the content I've been putting on the channel? I've been doing kind of like a full book color along or a full page color along once a week-ish. That's kind of what I'm aiming for. And then trying to fit in some minis in between that. I kind of focus on the full length color alongs at the beginning of the month so you don't see too many minis coming out at that point. You'll see more at the middle and end of the month because I want to get those full length color alongs recorded, edited, and put up before I worry about the minis because the minis are so much faster. They require a lot less editing. They require a lot less time to record. So I do those after I've gotten the main biggies up and running. Okay, so that's bronze. The next color I'm going to reach for is coffee. I'm going to go dark on the inside here, just completely burnish out So I was just looking at the results of the poll I recently put up as to what the next, the first full book color will be. This will be the only pictures that I put on screen that I'll be doing mostly in alcohol marker, though I will try to add some other mixed media and techniques in it. But it's going to be mostly about getting it done. It's going to be color and chats mostly, as much as possible. I may not even do the full page on screen when I do those. I may just use it as a color and chat and then just show you the finished product afterwards. We'll do that cooking show magic where you get it started and ta-da, it's magically done. Because I don't think you guys are going to need a whole ton of help getting through those pages, but at least we can color together. And I'll let you know each time I'm starting a new page. I don't know how many I'm going to be doing. I'm hopefully going to be doing more than one a month, if I can, because I want to get it done in a reasonable amount of time. That being said, it looks like the winner of the poll is Camellia Angel Cova. Ba-bam. All right, so because of that, I am going to be putting another poll up to choose which book we do. Now, all of my Camellia Angel Cova books, I think safe except for one, have at least one page colored in it. So y'all are going to miss at least one page out of whichever book I choose. So sorry about that. But maybe I'll pull it out as the first video and show it to you, or show them to you so you can see what I've already done. Give you some time to catch up on those if you want. I'll talk about, you know, how and what I did. Oh, sorry, this is pale yellow. Talk about what I did on those pages, give you some in-depth analysis on them if I can. Kind of a reverse color along type situation. That's what I'm thinking. So I'll pick some books that I have. I'm going to try to stick to ones that can be colored all year round. Ones that are like less seasonal, more whatever. So that we don't feel like we are coloring winter, you know, Christmas on Easter, if you know what I mean. Some people really have a hard time with that. So I have a hard time with that. I'm pretty seasonal. So if I can pick something that's less seasonal, I'd be happy with that. Okay, so as far as our little Scooter goes, what color should we do him? What color goes good with yellow, do you think? I mean, blues and greens obviously look really good. I mean, we've still got the background to consider. Do we want to do the background blue or green? You know what? That's what we're going to do. Okay. I'm going to do the background minty green because we'll have these leaves, which are going to be a nice bright green. And maybe we'll do the Scooter either blue or pink. Let's think about that while we do it. Okay. So first things first, let me just test out a couple of pencils here to see if they're going to be the color that I want them to be. Here's my scrap test papers. I try not to waste anything. So when I'm not going to use a piece of paper anymore, you know, like I've used these for pen testing and doing some math and whatever else on the side. I pull off the pieces that are still usable and use them for stuff like this. So this is a metallic one and this is a matte one. Just want to see what they're going to look like when combined together. Yeah, I like that. I think that's going to be our background. Okay, so let's do the background then. Oh, scared myself. For some reason, for a second, I thought I wasn't recording. That would have been awful. Literally awful. Would have been so mad. So I recently released a top 10 books I need more of videos. So not my top 10 favorite illustrators, but top 10, illustrators I'd like to see more of in my collection. And that video went over pretty well. I think a lot of people liked it. So maybe I'll do something similar with supplies, coloring supplies. And of course, I want to do a series of me going through all my supplies and, showing how I use them. Showing what I would use them for, when I would use them, how they work best for me in certain situations, that kind of thing. Again, not really a tutorial on how to use them necessarily, but just a little look at how I use them personally. I think that would be a nice thing. I don't want to like call anything a tutorial or anything because I'm not a trained professional. I have no formal training in art. So I feel a little bit fraudulent trying to teach people when I know that what I'm doing is probably not the official correct way to do things. I just want to show people what works for me. And how I manage to create the things that I create. I try to make sure that I'm having fun too. I mean, because the channel has become kind of my full-time job over the last while, not financially, believe me, but just time-wise, I find myself stressing a little bit about making sure I'm recording my videos and doing things the way that the channel wants them done and blah, 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 blah. But then I have to find time for myself to do things that other people don't have to see. So I try to make sure I'm still doing color by numbers and really simple, those bold and easy pages. I do them for myself, again, not recording them. Every time I color without having to record it, I'm not gonna lie, it's a bit more fun, like I don't have that pressure of making sure that I'm on all the time and sort of in frame and, do I need to make sure that I'm talking? Do I need to make sure that I'm showing the camera everything I'm doing? Make sure that I'm planning ahead and not goofing up in the middle of it, right? So that can be a bit nerve-wracking. Okay, so moving on to mint green light. That was, by the way, sorry, metallic teal. So once I get about 4 full-length color alongs recorded, I start being easier on myself and I start just coloring for me without the camera on. And I think that's fair, right, guys? Like, if I can give you a couple of minis and 4 full-length color alongs, I feel like that's enough per month, don't you? If not, feel free to let me know and I'll see what I can do, but I know I've been putting out more than that recently just because I've had the time and the motivation. But I don't want that to be mistaken as the absolute norm of the channel because I doubt I can keep that pace up in the long term. Especially if I end up going back to work at some point, which would be ideal. So tonight I'm going to be going back with some old friends to the treatment center that I went to last year for a meeting. Going to be a big meetup of all the alumni of the treatment center. Well, not all of the alumni, that would be, you know, thousands of people, but all the alumni that feel like showing up tonight. It's usually a good like 50, 75 people, so that's nice. Hopefully see a couple of the counselors. Okay. All right, so that's our background. Next, we need something that's gonna be the leaves. So I'm gonna choose, let's try, let me see. Ooh, that's bright. No, I don't like that. Maybe, yeah, it's a little more tame. And then, what about this? Sorry, I'm doing this. Okay, so this is the combo I'm gonna go with here. So that's light green and dark green. Oh, okay. Fair enough. I'm gonna do the leaves here. So I got myself a teeny tiny little set of Inktense pans the other day, because I've been wanting Inktense for so long, but I really can't afford the pencils. The pencils are so expensive. So I got 12 Inktense colors in the pan, and I can use them for basing. And I tried them out the other day on a page, and you know, they were not bad at all. They're definitely going to be a learning curve for sure. They definitely behave differently than I'm used to, but I mean, I don't know much about watercolors to begin with. You know what I mean? I've never really used good watercolors before, so I'm just winging it as far as how I'm gonna work with those guys. It's gonna be pretty interesting, but we'll see if I use them in future projects. I mean, I liked the way they turned out, but they were a lot of work. I'm gonna take a sip of my tea here. I'm sure I just have to get used to them. All right, so as far as our little scoot here goes, do we want to make them, maybe, no. Do we want to make them purple? Could do purple. Purplish pink, maybe? Just for something fun, just for the sake of trying it. Maybe try these, hold on. Pull up my test page here. We've got deep magenta and medium orchid. What do we think of that combo? Would that be fun? Sure, why not? Let's give it a go. These are sharpen here. Okay. Actually, I'm gonna add some dark gray violet as well, just to add some extra shadows to things. So I'm gonna sorry, I'm not really explaining what I'm doing, but I'm just trying to create that extra depth of shadow. I've been kind of into doing this lately, adding black or dark gray. To intensify the contrast of the shadows. Guess we may as well work on the tires while we're at it, right? So spooky season is upon us. You've been getting a lot of spooky coloring in. I know I've not been doing as much as I want to. I thought I was just gonna fly through all the spooky coloring this season. But it hasn't been happening as much as I'd want it to. And again, I think it's because of a lot of the recording and me trying to deal with the channel and get some content up there. And plus I'm trying to make sure that I'm also focusing on non-autumn coloring as well, because all of our friends in the Southern Hemisphere are not experiencing fall as we are in the Northern Hemisphere, so I have to try and remember that. I do have some really nice color alongs that are spooky season related coming up though. I think you'll enjoy. I'm running out of things to talk about, guys. I don't want to talk about like a ton of personal stuff. Not because I care about sharing. I don't mind you guys knowing my personal stuff, but I don't want to bore you. I don't want you to be like, oh my God, can you not talk about all your personal stuff when we're trying to be here for coloring, you know? Look at how intense that is though. Look at how the shadows have really been intensified by the fact that we put in that gray. Okay, so now I'm using the medium orchid. I hope you guys like this color. Hope you're not finding it too wild, like you weren't expecting something more muted. Okay, I'm gonna do this wheel well here. I'm not gonna use the black or the gray shadowing. I'm just gonna go in with my color just to help give it the depth that it's closer to us than the rest of the little scooter. Okay, and then white again to sum it up. Give that contrast between the gray shadows and the white highlights. Next, I need gray. Okay, good. Yes, perfect. So I'm pulling out dark gray now, which is incidentally lighter than the violet gray. Okay, and then the next one, we're pulling out regular gray, just plain old gray. There. And then we've got the Kalour silver, so we're going to use that to our advantage to try and pull some metallic sheen in here. And white finishes off our gray sections. And then white also finishes off our black sections of the tire. And I'm going to use the light gray. That's, yep, just light gray. Just to emphasize the white wall on this tire. And white. Good. Then we just need our creamy yellow once again to get our lights. I know that light's probably supposed to be red, but I don't want to add another color in here. Oh, and our handles, we almost forgot. Okay, so all that's left is some embellishment. So just let me get my pencils in here. So this has been a super quick, super easy little guy, right? Like, he hasn't taken us a lot of effort and he still looks pretty nice. Just a little bit of that contrasted shading goes a long way, don't you think? Just get myself organized here. All right, so some embellishment is next. Let's do I'm still trying to use up this one ARTEZA gel pen that I have left. Look at it's almost done. We're getting there. It just won't die. The rest of its counterparts did not survive well. Again, I don't know if it's because they were sitting in the warehouse for too long and they just weren't working well, or if that's actually an accurate reflection of how the ARTEZA's gel pens are. I hope not. I hope that it's just, I just got a bad batch, but I will link them in the description in case you want to try them yourself. And if you do, let me know how you like them, because the ones that do work, I had a couple that worked and they worked very, very well. Like this one works very, very well. I very much enjoy working with it. But I can't say the same for a lot of the others in the box. So there's that. Next we want white, so I'm gonna pull out my classic jelly roll. And just soften up a lot of these edges where the highlights are. So this is bringing us real close to the end of the video, folks. I hope that you enjoyed this little mini session. Please make sure you let me know in the comments how you liked what you did, what you didn't like, what you'd like to see next, whether it's in our mini series or in a different type of video or series. Make sure I'll be putting up the poll for the Camellia Angel Cova probably the same day as this goes out, so make sure to check that out and vote on our full book color. I'm not going to say color along because, like I said, I'm not going to necessarily do every single one on screen. But I'll do some color with me's and some color and chats with it and keep you up to date as to where I am. It'll be like a community color. That's what we'll call it, a community color. Community project book. What do you think? Cute? Done? Good? Awesome. Alrighty, thank you so much for joining me. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, check out the description box below for the products that you need to do this page, and enjoy the rest of your day. We'll see you in the next one. Bye now.